Today, I'm going to be delineating the sign of Libra. Libra is a sign of balance. Libra is a sign of harmony. Libra is a sign of companionship. Libra is a sign of reciprocity. Libra is a sign of partnerships. Any kind of partnerships. Platonic, professional, romantic partnership is all kinds of partnership is Libra. Libra is also relationships. And Libra is also the sign of human interaction. So, this demonstration is going to be pointing to the things that the sign of Libra is, in terms of outside of, human psychology, and also on a psychological level. And what I mean by that is describing the people born under the sign of Libra. But I like to use the ascendant, those born with ascendant, Libra ascendant. They are going to relate to this more. And then those born with the sun sign is going to describe them too also. So either way that it goes, you see, because even if you take your sun sign, your sun might be shining, in the 8th house. You see, your sun might shine in the 8th house, and if you take that sign, you understand where your sun is, and put in the ascendant and run the reading, you're still going to, sound a lot like you. If you understand what I mean. So, Libra is a sign of human interaction. Libra people are people that are naturally inclined to interact in any place that they find themselves. In any place that they find themselves, the natural tendency, the natural inclination for Libras is human interaction. Libra is also the sign of sharing. If you even consider that Scorpio is in the second place of Libra, and the second place is the place of money. Second place is the place of money, and Scorpio is the sign of sharing. Even Libra is the sign of sharing, but Scorpio here points to more of the deep emotional bonds, deep intimate bonds actually. So when you share a very strong bond with a Scorpio, with a Libra rather, they are very likely going to, not have issues with you sharing their stuff. These people love to share, their stuff with people. When it means the second place is your personal belongings, your property, that is the things that you own, the things you bought with your own money, is what the second place points to. So these people have really no issues with you, sharing their stuff with you. You see, there's a strong bond between the both of you. You understand? Libra people don't have issues with that, and their values. You see, their values runs deep. The things, the principle, the morals, the values that they go through life by, it runs very, very deep. These people do not, compromise on what they believe. It's a thing that they believe. If they believe in something, it goes very deep. This is Libra people for you. There's a whole lot on this stuff, but I just want to keep this as simple as possible. So for those who don't know astrology at all, be able to still relate to what I'm saying. And like I said, this demonstration will also take on the form of describing things too that are outside of just the human, on the outside of the human level. That is describing Libra outside of human level. And what I mean that, for example, Libra is the government. And the government, if Libra is the government, the 5th place is the strength of a thing. Now, when you say what is the strength of government, that is Aquarius. Aquarius is the people. When you hear the government is this, for this, and for the people, and yes, they say it's democracy, but the democracy is a form of government. It is still government. It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The strength of government. Without the people, there is no government. That's what they are not going to tell you. Without the people, there is no government. Government cannot thrive without the people. The people are the strength of the government. This is cosmic law. I didn't make that stuff up. You can see it in the way that they express what they do. People often say that votes don't buy, which is funny because Libra is the sign of voting. They say votes don't buy. What is the strength? You understand, of vote is the people. If there is nobody, if the people do not, is Aquarius is a sign of the people, the masses of the people. It is the people. If there are no people, votes will be, these people spend money, and people often say that votes, I don't know where people, do they manipulate votes? Yes. Votes is manipulated. But it does count. There has to be a figure in place for anybody to be sworn into office. So they say, oh, this is the number of votes this person got. There is a count, it has to count. Vote counts. I don't want to go into all of that stuff because this is a sign of Libra, but votes does count. And the strength of the government, of voting, of election. Libra is a sign of elections outside of just people. Okay, now let's bring it back to the people. Now, the natural tendency and the natural strength of Libra people is socialization. These people are the social bees of the zodiac. These people love to socialize. The fifth place is love, the things you love. I mean, the things you love, the things you're even loyal to. Talking about loyalty, these people have Leo in the 11th place. These people, the 11th place is the place of friendship. Same way Aquarius is a sign of friendship. In the 5th place are Leo rules. And then it's good. There was a video I made. I told you guys, like, look, Libra is a sign that throws every other sign in its opposition. It balances out everything. It is a sign of balance. It is a sign of harmony. It is a sign of law. I mean, outside of people, it points to lawyers, it points to the court, it points to the courtroom. The judicial process, all of that is Libra. Are you following? So now we are talking about Libra as people. Now we're dealing with Libra on the psychological level of people who are born under the sign of Libra or have Libra, the ascendant sign. These people have Leo in the 11th place. The 11th place is a place of friendship and socializing. You see, this with their criteria for friendship is loyalty. Leo is the sign of loyalty. Then these people have it in the 11th place of friend. So for them to be your friends, these people love their friends. You understand? But loyalty is the criteria for a Libra to make you a friend. And once you've passed that, you've beat that criteria, and you understand that Libra people are very, very loyal in friendships. They are very loyal in friendship. You see, another key thing there I want us to also think about, just outside of the people for a minute. Let's just look at it outside of, what the sign of Libra is. Libra is a sign of relationship. Now, people in relationship, what is that one common trait that we'll find when people are in love? People are in an affair. Libra is affairs. It is love. It is relationship. It is partnership. What is that common thing? Now, we have to look at the 12th place here of Libra. The 12th place, first of all, the 12th place talks about the things that you lack. The 12th place talks about the things that we lack. Now, what does relationship have in the 12th place? Relationship has Virgo. In the 12th place, Virgo is the sign of critical thinking. If you are in love, you lack critical thinking. This is how love goes according to cosmic order. You're not supposed to have sense if you're in love. It's just how it works. It's just how it works. You can't have sense if you're in love. All of these tricks and you think people are stupid. No, people who are in love are stupid. They just lack critical thinking. That is Virgo. Virgo is a sign of critical thinking. And also is a sign of criticism. The 12th place also talks about the things that you cannot stand about people, the things you don't like. You understand? The things you can't stand about other people. When people criticize you, or in a relationship, the thing that happened is your fault. You have to take the blame for it. The person who is in love does not agree with you. They can't stand that act of criticism. It's like, it's not my fault. I did what I did because I was in love. Yeah, but I mean, they were in love, right? They can't stand criticism. And critical thinking is something that they lack. This also goes, to some extent, it talks about Libra people too. They do everything to avoid criticism. Even in their place of work, they have Pisces in the 6th place. The 6th place is the place of work, hustle, any kind of service you render, any kind of money that comes from you rendering service or employment jobs or salary jobs. This is the place that describes that. When you have a Libra, you find that these people often do everything possible to avoid being being criticized. They are very sensitive. This is a sign of sensitivity. They are very sensitive to criticism. You understand? And this reduces their performance in the place of work. So if you are an employer and you have a Libra person within your unit, you'll find that these people are often, they are very sensitive. So sometimes their natural tendency is independence, which is what Aquarius is pointing to here. You understand? This independence, these people want to be independent to their own, because, if they get to work for you and you're always criticizing how their performance is in a place of work, it affects their performance because they are very sensitive to that. It reduces their performance because in the place of work, now they feel like the staff feel like they are not enough. These people are very sensitive to tone, the tone in which you speak to them, they are very sensitive. These people have Sagittarius in the third place. The third place is the place of communication. If you consider that Sagittarius is also the sign of sensitivity, and Pisces too, not just Pisces, but we know Pisces generally to be the sign of sensitivity, but Sagittarius is sensitivity. But it's also being loud. So if you're talking to a Sagittarius, your voice needs to be down. If you're yelling at them, your tone, they'll tell you. A Sagittarius can easily misinterpret the fact that you're criticizing them or you're speaking to them, in a tone that they don't like. They'll say you are shouting. They'll say you're being loud. I guarantee you, get you a Libra. Not Sagittarius, a Libra. Sorry. If you're speaking to a Libra, because they have Sagittarius say, this is a sign of loudness. That is what Sagittarius is. Loudness, running around. You find that even this, when they were a child, they're usually one of the loudest people around. They run, they play, all of that stuff. They are always loud when they speak. And they are always very sensitive to that same thing too. You find this when you speak, you need to speak to them in a very gentle tone. Before you even finish your speech, they might tell you, guys, no, they shout for me. Like you're in the Nigerian space, you say, bro, you're raising your voice at me, I don't like it. So these Libra people are very sensitive. Another thing here you find is the third place is the place of reading, is the place of literature. These people have the sign of exploration in the third place of the mind of mental expansion. The same way they have Gemini in the ninth place. The same way they have Gemini in the ninth place. Gemini is the mind. And these people have it in the place of mental expansion. But also the ninth place also talks about things that you seek, the things you're constantly, seeking to get. When you say constantly seeking to get, is what the ninth place is. These people are always on the journey of intellectual pursuits. They're always looking to expand their mind. The same way they have Sagittarius in the third place. They're always seeking to expand their mind. And these people have a strong preference, a strong love for foreign literature, foreign philosophies, foreign cultures. This is a sign of foreigners. You find you a Libra who lives in a place where foreigners are, they are likely going to be the first to have interest, to want to speak those people's language, which is what the third house is. Why? Because these people have, foreign related stuff, the sign of foreigners in the third place of communication. They are the first people who want to adapt to situations where they get to speak your language just so they can interact with you. Let's not forget, Libra is a sign of human interaction. Are you following? And these people often, have issues, usually at, more like childhood and teenage phase of their life where, they have Capricorn in the fourth place, which is the place of the parent. These people often grow up having one of the parents that was, one of their parents who treated them harshly, a very harsh parent. And this also translates into a Libra suppressing their emotions, because Libras are people whom you find in homes where, if they are being punished for something that they do, and they are busy crying, you find one of those parents who tell them, if you cry again, I'm going to beat you more. I guarantee you, every Libra has seen most, let me not say all, most, a huge majority of Libras have the experience of suppressing their emotions because of the way that the experience they have with this parent of theirs that treated them harshly. You understand? So they have this issue of suppressing their emotion. But some Libras also have this same issue of being separated from the parent at a young age. So then this night translates into seeking freedom or getting freedom, having a sense of freedom or wanting freedom, loving their freedom at a young age. At first it hurts them because people are very sensitive. First it hurts them, then as time goes on, they begin to have issues with they begin to finally adapt, and it begins to translate into them loving that freedom and independence that they got from a younger age because of the separation from the parents. These people love freedom, they love to socialize. You can't take that away from a Libra. Of course, why is it the sign of human interaction? Because it has the sign of socialization and making friends in the fifth place of its natural strength. These are the social bees of the zodiac. But also a level that goes outside of just their character, and on a health level, these people have a very poor sleeping routine. These Pisces is sleep, the sixth place is routine. These people have a very poor sleeping routine. Their sleep schedule is always not very stable. You ask most Libras, they are going to tell you this, whether rising or sun. They are going to tell their sleeping routine is very, very poor. They have a very poor sleeping routine. You see, some of them often have issues with their feet, food sensitivity, and all of that stuff. Maybe something around their foot, their toe, their sole, stuff around that place. Because Pisces rules the feet. And I'm going to do a video about, astrology and human anatomy. So you see that the places in your chart that indicate where the sixth place or the eighth place or any other place, so many other places in the chart, will indicate the part of your body they are going to have injury. It is written. Do you get me? This stuff is written. Your injuries is in your chart. Another thing with Libra people is that they have Aries in the seventh place. The seventh place is now this place of relationship. Now, guess what this means? Libra people are very impulsive when it comes to relationship. These people are the bonehead of relationships, of people that fall in love. These people often believe in love at first sight. That's another thing with Libras that you have to know. These who believe in love at first sight. Yes. And they're very impulsive when they go into relationship. They just rush into relationship because these people are constantly seeking. They don't like to do things alone. If you consider that Libra is a sign of companionship, they always want someone with them. It's a sign of couples. Couples is, twos. These people like to move, to mingle. The value, the need to mingle is what Scorpio in the second place is. Scorpio is a sign of mingling. Whether it's financial mingling, any kind of mingling. Although, yes, financial mingling, even when it comes to their source of income, they always like to, because Scorpio is a sign of shared resources. Even when it comes to their income, they always want to have someone that like they are kind of in a partnership with, or like maybe a cooperative venture in. Someone that they have to, someone that they work together with and they share stuff with. These people value that stuff. Not all though, not all. But at most of them at a more deeper level, they have this craving of wanting to. And if they find a partner that they are romantically involved with, they are more than willing to want to have a business partner, a business with that person, like a partnership with that person, or a joint business with that person. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So these are very impulsive when it comes to relationship. Like I said, they believe in love at first sight. And this is where their major problem, this is where they have most of their major problem here, because this is most usually where their work is. As a sign of relationship, this is where their main lessons, life lessons comes in. Where they need to apply more, tact. You understand? More discipline. Be emotionally disciplined, which is Capricorn here in the fourth place, which is the sign of karmic lessons. So their karmic lessons also, together with what this place is, because those are cardinal signs in those two core places. So emotional discipline is something that a Libra is going to constantly have to go through until they learn the lessons, and then they now have to eventually mature, where they no longer have to go into relationship impulsively. Because if you also consider that Aries is a sign of intelligence, then they begin to apply their intelligence. But before anything, before these guys, before a Libra mature, before anybody who goes into relationship with this Libra matures in their thinking, they are eventually going to not have sense. It's just it's just the way it is. They are just not going to have sense. You understand what I'm saying? So now these people have Cancer in the 10th place, and then they have Taurus in the 8th place. Now Cancer is a sign of family. I'm often of the mind that Libra women, are very family oriented, meaning that they hold family in the highest regard, because the 10th place is the highest potential of it. You see, the Libra women, they hold family in the highest regard. Family legacy is what the 10th place is. Family legacy is everything to a Libra. When we say family, like if you've watched Fast and Furious and all of that stuff, yeah. Family, all that stuff, Libra holds family in the highest place, in the highest position. See, Libra people are most people. I'm of the mind. There was a time I even did a post about that. I said Libra people are people that you will find them within the home setting. They're always wanting. You always find them with a family member or a sibling that is family. Or a sibling or a family member. It could be a sibling or relate anything. You find them mostly with a family member. Very close to a family member. And these people are very close to the home. These are people that can be called upon it and they are going to show up, whether male or female. But in the more natural sense, we consider that cancer still doesn't relate, still doesn't, like live out this particular character traits, you understand, to just the female. The men too, you understand, Libra men too have this same tendency to place family at the highest regard, at the highest point. Taurus in the 8th place of Libra is money, first of all. The 8th place is the place of bonding. It's the place of sharing. It's the place of intimacy. When you consider that intimacy, Libras have Taurus in the place of intimacy, which is values. Taurus is a sign of values and morals. You understand? Just your values, the things that you code, the principles that you live by. Libra people are more inclined to have an intimate affair with people that share similar values with them. Yes. When they say we have something in common, yeah. Libra people are more inclined to be intimate to someone who shares similar values to them. But some other Libras, most of them have these tendencies. You consider that Taurus is money, Taurus is flowers, Taurus is sweet, things that are sweet, things that are biscuits, sweet, and things that are sweet, sugary stuff. It's what this stuff is. It's also recreational centers like gardens. Yes, it's what Taurus is. Bonding is something that Libra people are, that a Libra person can have with someone, can create with someone if they find themselves in this environment or if this requirement is met. What I mean here is money. You send them money, you take them shopping, you buy them jewelries, all this stuff is Taurus. You take them to a garden, you buy them flowers. It depends on the Libra you're dealing with. This Taurus here is going to describe how this person bonds with you. Then it now comes to the bed. When it comes to the bedroom, these people are very vocal. And you consider that Taurus rules the neck, your voice box, your throat, your sofa, all that stuff is Taurus. You understand my points? All that stuff is Taurus. These people often, in this 8th place, there's also the place of injury. These people often have issues with their voice too. Because the majority of Libras have issues with their voice, when it comes to. But that's why I said they are very vocal in the bedroom too. But also these oral sex, these people love oral sex too. It's another thing to look out for Libra too. So you have to have that in mind if you're dating a Libra person. So all of this here, describes a Libra person. So I believe I've done justice to Libra. My next sign now is going to be Scorpio. I started from Leo, I read Virgo, now this is Libra, and the next sign is Scorpio. So if you want a full reading, regardless of any sign that I'm still going to do for all of the signs, If you want a full reading, I will leave my contact details in the description. You see. So until then, peace.